Hi everyone, it's Lindy on here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today I thought we'd play around a little bit more with the alcohol pearl inks from Tim Holtz. And I'm also going to be using quite a few of his Sizzix dyes to create this floral card. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the alcohol ink cardstock, again from Tim Holtz, and this is a glossy finish cardstock. And then I'm going to take the alcohol pearl ink, this is the Tranquil color, and we're going to shake it really well to get that pearlized effect. And then I'm going to grab the alcohol blending solution and my distress marker spritzer, and this is just going to move the ink around a little bit easier. So I'm going to start off with the blending solution, and I'm going to apply that all over the cardstock here. This is just the base. We're going to come back with some more of this a little bit later. And then shaking those inks really well, I'm going to just kind of shake it out onto the paper here. So I'm just trying to create the light blue sky that we're going to need for behind the frame. So I'm adding plenty of blending solution just to lighten that up a little bit. And then I'm going to just use this little spritzer and I'm going to spread that ink around. And you can see that you get these really interesting light and dark areas, which you'll see when I dry this is going to make a beautiful sky effect, which would also be really great for water as well. Now I'm going to take my heat tool and I'm just going to heat set that entirely, and you can see that as it's drying, it starts to take on that pearlized effect a little bit more. So I wanted to show you that up close, and you can see how beautiful this is. And I love when you get that kind of veiny texture in there. Now you could also just let these air dry, but I did use the heat tool to do my drying. So now I'm going to use Enchanted and Intrigue. Again, making sure I shake these each time before I use them. And then I'm going to start with my blending solution and add that lighter pink tone. And I kind of wanted to keep this somewhat on the lighter side, so I'm just adding a little bit of that darker color. Adding my blending solution again. And then going back with the little spritzer here, and I'm just going to spread that ink around. Now you can continue to add color as you want to here. You can add more and use your blending solution and blend it out, and you will see that a little bit later as well. So here, I just think that is absolutely gorgeous. And you'll see as it starts to dry. Now I could have let it air dry, but here I'm going to use the heat tool. I want you to be able to see kind of as it starts to pearlize here a little bit. And you can see the beautiful combination of colors that you get. So now for the next one, we're going to do the greenery. I want to use the first one was for the sky. That second one was to do some of the flowers in. And this third set here, we're going to do all the greenery, the stems for all of our foliage. So we're using Alchemy, Sublime, and Envy. And again, I've applied the blending solution first, and then I'm going to start to apply my colors. I usually tend to go lightest to darkest, just so that usually I use the darker more sparingly than the others, because you can always add more. So now I'm adding my blending solution over the top here, and then I'm using my little spritzer to spread that around. This little spritzer is actually made to be used with your markers. You slide your marker down in there, and you can use it to spray that ink onto your cardstock, almost like a splatter effect. But I like to use it for this because then I don't have to keep blowing on the straw, and I just find it a lot easier. So I'm blending that around just as we did before, and then I'm going to heat set these two as well. And I love all these combinations of colors. I just think they're absolutely beautiful. Now, before I completely dry this, I'm going to take some gold foil and I'm just going to press it. You want to have it face up, and it's hard to tell with mine because I've had this sheet of foil for probably 10 years now. And you can see how much you can get out of it. You just, a little bit goes a long way. And while it's a little bit tacky, not really wet, but just a little bit tacky, so you do want to get the foil on there before it's completely dry. You just press it down face up and then lift it off, and you'll leave this beautiful foiled effect behind. So now that we have the foliage done, we're going to work on another set of flowers. So we're going to use the Alchemy and the Splendor. And this combination, you'll see, this is so vibrant and so beautiful. This would be beautiful also for a sky. We're going to be using it for some flowers, but after I was done, I just thought this would make an absolutely gorgeous sky. Kind of like a sunset. So now, again, same technique, just kind of moving that around. And then you'll see when we heat set this, this one just is really magical. So you can see that there. Isn't that beautiful? So now I'm going to do the Enchanted and the Villanous. And again, we're going to be doing this combination for some more flowers. And again, I needed to add a little bit more blending solution. I didn't do that, so I went back and added the blending solution, and now we're just going to blend that out. And again, I'm coming in and I'm going to heat set that. And I did, as I said before, I did want to show you this because I just think it's really interesting to see. As it moves around a little bit, you kind of get those veins and the different blending. But again, letting it air dry would just be another way to go. So now I'm using the Intrigue and the Villanous. And again, applying my blending solution. And I just think that color is absolutely gorgeous right there, that raspberry color. And then, again, I don't want too much of the purple. Blending that out and just kind of using that spritzer again. And I did feel like maybe it needed a little bit more color, so I came in with a little bit more here. A little more of the blending solution. I was going to add more of the purple, but I decided I liked it the way that it was. Had just a hint of purple in there. Now these are fun to do. Just do a whole bunch of these. Just kind of have them on hand and ready to go. Once you have the inks out, it's just fun just to keep at this. Just kind of mix and match your colors and see what you come up with. If I want to remember a combination, I just write it on the back of these when I'm done so that I can recreate it at any time. So you could do like a little color chart if you wanted to. So there you can see we have all of our colors ready. So these are the Sizzix Thinlits, Tim Holtz dyes, and these are these florals. This is called the Wildflower Stems set number 1. We're going to be using the greenery and that beautiful pink tone that we created before. So to start off, I'm going to die cut the entire flower. And I'm going to run that through my Sizzix Sidekick machine. And this is the Tim Holtz version. And what's great is all of these little florals will fit through here. So it's going to be really easy to run all these through. So now you can see I've run through the whole entire thing. Now I'm just trying to decide here what area I think would be best for my flower here, just for the flower top. So I'm just moving it around and I've decided that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and run that through. Now I'm just cutting away that little piece of stem there that got cut, and then I'm going to go ahead and those two will get attached together, and you can see how beautiful that's going to be. So to attach these together, I'm using the multi-medium matte. This is a heavy-duty adhesive, and you do want something heavy-duty here because these alcohol pearls and the glossy paper do have a little bit of a slick finish to them. So this particular glue works really well and will hold these together. And I showed you there, you could see that beautiful foiling on that leaf there. So now from this set here called the Funky Foliage, we're going to select that little flower there. And we're going to go ahead and die cut that. And you can see that it cuts the flower and the stem at the same time. I'm just going to run the whole thing through, even though I just really need the stem for the green part. And I can throw away that other little piece there because we're not going to need that. So now I want to get the floral part of it. So I'm going to grab a little bit of this pinky purpley paper and I'm going to cut the flower section. And you can see that I can line it up so that I don't have to cut the whole thing. I can just cut that florally part. So now I've got all of those die cut, and we're going to go ahead and glue those together just as we did before using the multi-matte adhesive here. So I've got all of those attached together. Now going back to that same set, I'm going to grab that floral there. And we're going to be using the orange and yellow combination that we made and the greenery as well. So you can see that the die cuts the little flowers and the greenery all at the same time. So we're going to run this through. We're just going to keep the stem part, and we can get rid of those other little green pieces that it cut out. Then we're going to run it through a second time to get the flowers. And now that we have that run through the machine, we've got all these little flowers that can be attached to the stem here. And I'm just going to quickly make sure that they match up, because each one does match up to one of these on the stem here. And then I'm just going to glue those down. And you can see how cute that is. I just love that. So now that we have that all set, we're going back to that original set where that flower came from, and we're going to grab that long set of leaves here. So I've selected this piece of greenery because we can cut it down into a lot of little sections here. So it gives us a lot to work with, and there again you can see the beautiful foiling on that green. So I just die cut quite a few of them here. Now for that little flower there, we're going to use the purple and the orange tones. And you can see that that little flower cuts out a center as well. So I've gone ahead, run those through, and I just took that round circular center. I didn't take that overlay piece. I just simply did the two pieces of that flower. And now I have my Sizzix sculpting tool and my sculpting mat. And I will give you the information for all of these products down below. So check down there for any information that you might need. That set does come with other tools as well. And I'm just simply pressing down on my little flowers and creating a little bit of dimension on them. This little mat allows for me to do that very easily. And on these, I thought I'd just push it down a little bit just to get a little bit of dimension there. And you can see that there. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the leaves. I'm just simply pulling from the stem out towards the edges just to create a little bit of a pop-up. And here I'm just patting on these leaves. I didn't want to pull. I thought they were kind of delicate, so I didn't want to tear anything. So now I'm using the Tim Holtz Craft Cardstock in the metallic color. And I'm going to grab that gold, and this is the Thinlits Stacked Archway, again from Tim Holtz, and I'm taking the largest one. So I'm going to cut my paper to 5.5 by 4 1/4, so this is a standard A2 size card. And then I'm going to grab that archway, and I'm going to place it in the center here, and I'm going to tape it down with a little bit of purple tape. And I do want to put the tape on the inside of the archway. because if it leaves a mark, we're not going to be using that piece. We're going to be using the outer edges, the frame portion. Now I like to take a piece of scrap paper when I'm running metallic papers through my die cutting machine. It will kind of protect it from getting the marks from the plate onto the metallic paper. So just a little tip, just grab a clean piece of scrap paper and run it through at the same time. So now I've got that beautiful blue sky. I've cut a A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it's a top folding card. And I'm going to take my ATG 700 gun, which has a permanent double stick tape on it, and I'm just determining which way I want that sky to be. And then I'm going to attach this to my card. So I'm lining it up there. And then for this frame, I did want to pop this up just to give it a little bit of dimension. So I'm using my Scotch foam mounting tape, and I'm going to use my 9.5-inch titanium shears from Holtz to cut that tape. It's a nice long scissor, so it cuts it really easily without chopping it up. And now I've gone ahead and cut enough little pieces here to pop that entire thing up, the entire frame, and now I'm going to go ahead and center that right on my card. So you can see how beautiful that is already. Now we're going to start to build with the flowers here. So I'm just going to determine where I want those 3 tallest ones to be. And then once I've determined that, I'm just going to snip off those little stems there, just so that they'll slide down underneath that frame. Now I'm going back to my Ranger Multi-Matte Medium, and I'm going to apply that. And you can see here on the stem, I'm just applying it to the stem and a little bit on the lower part of the leaf. I want those to still remain popped up a little bit. So I don't want to glue it flat. I do want to let it have a little bit of dimension there. Now I'm going to do the same thing for these other 2, and I kind of want that one sticking out a little bit so you can see it goes over the frame just a little bit there. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Now I want to add some more greenery in here. So you can see now I'm going back to those long pieces, and I'm just going to cut the pieces that I want out of this. So I just kind of cut the top section off here. And again, just placing the adhesive on the stem and a little tiny bit on the bottoms of the leaves. And I'm just going to start to fill this in a little bit. So again, you can see that I'm just cutting the top section off here, but I will be using some of those lower sections a little later. I like that some of the leaves are larger, so I can get a lot more, just a variety out of these. And again, by doing that background, you can see all the beautiful colors we get on these leaves. Just a nice natural variety of colors. And it's so easy to do. And it's a lot quicker and easier than trying to color all these in, I think. And I think it's more, I don't know, it's just more interesting. So now you can see here I'm going down towards the bottom and grabbing another one of those like larger sections of leaves just to kind of fill that little base in. And I'm going to do that again over here on the right hand side. So now I want to add these little purple flowers here. So just a little bit of glue here on the back of each of these. And that one, I did get a little glue on the metallic there. So with my finger, while it was still wet, I was able to easily get it off. But you could use a gum eraser or an adhesive eraser to remove that as well. It comes off quite easily. But if you get at it right away, you should be able to remove it. And you can see how cute these are. These little flowers add a lot of color here. And I kind of want them going a little bit in different directions. And now for these little yellow and orange flowers, I'm just going to tuck those in. Just kind of still just filling in here. And now for these little flowers here, since there is enough greenery, I'm just going to tuck them in there. They're going to just kind of look like they're growing in there. I'm not too worried about them being on a stem. It kind of looks like they are once you fill it in with enough of the greenery. And for this last one, I just wanted to just fill in that little area there. So just play around with the layout. You can lay it all down first and take a picture of it and then go back and adhere everything. I just kind of like to do it as I go along. But if you test it and you love it, just take a photo of it and then you can recreate it. So now I'm going to use my Nuvo Sherbert Shimmer drops. These are the crystal drops. And these are glitter drops, so it's going to leave a beautiful glittery finish to these. And it's just going to add a little bit of dimension to these flowers here. And you can see that there. So it's a little sparkle. And I went ahead and did the other two. I'm using the metallic stickers from Tim Holtz. These are the Quotations. And they come in black with gold, black with silver, white with gold, and white with silver. I thought this black with gold lettering is just beautiful. And it says, collect beautiful moments. And I just thought that was perfect for this card. So that this card could be for anything. A wedding or thinking of you, hello, birthday, just about anything. And I like those cards because then when you need one, you could just grab it easily and stamp the inside. This would also be really pretty to put on an easel as, you know, kind of a gift for somebody, really, because it takes a little bit of time and effort to put it together. And here I wanted to show you a second card that I did in lighter colors. So I just used a little bit lighter hand with the inks, same alcohol inks that we used before, just a little bit lighter, and I also used a white sticker with the gold letters just for a different effect. So you can see those two side by side. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to visit me at pinkwhisperdesigns.com. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.